Thank you, Ilkka, for these nice words. I'm very honored receiving this award, yet I know that there are so many others here who are equally worthy. Nature has always been in the center of my life. I grew up on a small farm in a small village. As a child, I spent time in forests and fields, observing birds and documenting their migration, watching animals and exploring plants, even the smallest ones, so perfect in the waterline. Even now, I love to listen to the sound of wind in the forest. It always makes me feel safe. This nature connection is why I ended up studying forest and trees. Now I'm a chemist and I'm interested in the structure of wood on a molecular level, how the molecules organize to form tiny cells and the complex structure of a whole plant with its living functions. Today I'm very excited about the chemical nanoimaging approach that we apply to get direct experimental evidence on the organization of cell wall polymers in wood. I have a vision that the research will change our understanding on how water is transported in trees and also lead to discovery of more sustainable ways of converting biomass into materials and chemicals that we need. I started my studies in Otaniemi almost 5 decades ago. Back then I was quiet and shy. But I realized from my first lecture that I was in the right place. And here I want to add that I selected not to be quiet here. I was keen to question, and this eagerness for knowledge was always supported. There was one professor in particular. I used to go up to him at the end of class and point out the errors in the molecular structures and reactions in his textbook. To his credit, he was never angry to me. What I remember is a feeling of being respected regardless of my young age. It raised my self-confidence and supported my passion for knowledge. Now, as a professor myself, I see the humility that it requires to be corrected late in your esteemed career by a 20-year-old. Now, when a young student questions my approach, it brings me happiness. It means that they are meeting me on the same level of understanding. I was only 22 when I was appointed a full-time teaching assistant, several years younger than my counterparts. I continued my own research alongside the teaching. I was driven by excitement. I worked long into the nights and finally had 10 articles published in 4 years. Yet I felt dissatisfied with the quality of my work. I continued to go deeper than what I had learned from my teachers or read from literature. I spent months in laboratory and in a library searching for supporting evidence to my new hypothesis. In the end, I was satisfied and very excited to defend my work, which I published as a monograph, a book without the articles. Among other things, I had proved that the fundamental paper in the field was based on completely wrong interpretation of the data. I greatly admire that the author of that very same paper accepted to oppose me in the public defense. This still touches me to this date. Passion is needed in science, but so is humility. You can and you will make mistakes, and you need to accept it. In the late 70s, I spent 3 summers in pulp and paper mills as part of my studies. The last one in the research laboratory. Even this short industrial experience gave me understanding and respect for the people who have a different role in the knowledge cluster I represent. One might assume that applied research is scientifically inferior, but I think this is a trap. The world needs solutions, and only with an open mind can we hope to find them. My curiosity has always led me towards the unknown. Soon after Aalto University was formed, I met with designer Pirjo Kääriäinen, who is sitting somewhere here. We decided to begin collaboration with few students from both fields without knowing what the outcome would be. Now, the interdisciplinary chem arts activity is known internationally, at least among design students and professionals. Our collaboration with Pirjo has had a great impact on my thinking. I had to learn a new language to be understood and to understand. I haven't become a design expert, but I can discuss with them. Once interviewing for arts tenure track candidates, I started to asking them, and there was a reason, what's your understanding of design? To the surprise and delight of my design colleagues. One instrument and one approach will give one picture of a complex system. A different instrument approach may give a totally different insight. Thus, a fuller, more satisfying understanding is reached only when you explore and look at something from many different angles. Scientific research of a certain field is just one aspect of a whole. Today, we live in the middle of grand global challenges. Everyone understands that we need to mitigate climate change, stop polluting the world with plastics, protect the biodiversity of nature, and change our attitudes towards consumption in general. The question is, how could we contribute to solving these problems with our work? The approaches between disciplines are complementary, and we should collaborate to have a bigger impact. When I was a child, large ice cubes thrown from a frozen sea were stored in sawdust for summertime to keep milk fresh. My understanding on uses of wood has broadened ever since, and also I have contributed to their development during several decades. The materials that we use and need change with time. After being a faculty member for 45 years, I'm approaching the end of my academic career. Soon I will hand the baton to my own students and younger colleagues to continue the run. I'm grateful for everything this society and university has given to me. My parents experienced a wartime, bought a piece of land for that, and grew a family of 6 children with hard work. They saw the potential in me and sent me to high school. I have learned to value everyone equally based on their work, not their origin, their age, or their place of birth. We need everyone to build this society. I'm thankful and honored to be appointed as a distinguished professor. I haven't done the work alone. I need to share the recognition among the hundreds of people with whom I have had the privilege of collaborating. Thank you all.